Equid Labs is an IIM Bangalore incubated and a NASSCOM incubated edtech company. So we are operating since past 4 years. And about the quality of our company, so we have around 1,800 to 1,900 reviews on Google, and we are keeping up and maintaining the 4.8 to 4.7 star rating about the technology or the training programs that we focus on. So this is not entirely just a training company that we have. We do R&D on different technologies. We have built our own platforms where students are getting hired. So that is one aspect. And also we have built our own advertisement system and AI and IoT based systems where we have deployed it in different restaurants and different places also. So that is a separate product. We call it as AdG. So we are doing different things, not only on the education side, but also in the different various sectors for development, that is R&D. So we are also recognized by NASSCOM, and we are incubated at IIM Bangalore. So we are also recognized by different startup agencies throughout India and Karnataka. So this is our recognition. So to talk about what are all the exact internship programs that we are offering. So for Sjbit ECE students, preferably we are offering two programs, that is two internship programs. One is called IoT Internet of Things. The second one is called as AI and ML, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning. So these two topics, why did we choose these two topics? And if you are in a position to choose any domain of your choice for internship or for career, for your future career, so why do you need to choose these technologies itself? So the questions begins with the topic itself. So why exactly we are trying to offer IoT and AI as the topics for your internship course or your internship domain? So to understand any technology, so we need to understand the hype cycle. So what is the hype cycle and why you need to exactly understand the hype cycle is very important. So anything that you want to pursue or anything that you want to learn, so there is always a time period, right? So if you buy any food product or if you buy any medicine, so there is an expiry date. So after the expiry date, you can't use that particular medicine or food product. It will not be good and it will not be worth it also. So similarly, each and every technology has an expiry date. So each and every technology, when it has an expiry date, so it is very important to understand what technologies to learn at what period of time. So how do you decide that? That is all based upon the Gartner's hype cycle. So what is Gartner's hype cycle? So Gartner is a person. So he's a business tycoon. So he researches on the technologies and tries to bring out which technology will boom in what years and which technology will decline in what years. So that is very important to understand. So what is the technology that is growing up? What technology is in its peak and what technology is going down? So that is why Gartner is thinking about a hype cycle. So it will tell you where the technology is in hype. So if you think of IoT, artificial intelligence, all these are in the peak of the hype. So peak of the hype in the sense, more and more companies are adopting to the technology, more and more products are coming up and people are getting huge job opportunities in this particular domain. So that is why always you need to learn technologies either which are going to peak up in 1 or 2 years or which are already in the peak. So there is no point in learning which is the technology which is already expired. So that is why very important technologies are very important to understand Gartner's hype cycle while learning technologies. And we know that AI and IoT are in the peak of this particular cycle or the hype cycle. So this is how you can understand how to learn these technologies. So starting with IoT, so IoT is a very simple concept to understand, and also you might have heard IoT or worked with IoT in your previous semesters out of your own interest or as a part of your curriculum. So IoT is simple. So you are trying to connect each and everything to internet. So why do you connect each and everything to the internet? The point is simple. Either you want to control it or you want to get some information out of it. So that is the whole main reason why IoT came into picture. So IoT was not a term which was told 2 years ago or 3 years ago. IoT was there from past many years, from 2005 itself. So the thing about IoT is we are connecting each and everyday things to the internet. So we can connect our TV to internet, we can connect our fridge to internet, we can connect our watches to internet. So any different object that you want to connect to internet, you can do it. So how IoT is actually designed? So there are major components in IoT. So I'll consider 3 major components. So one is the sensors and actuators. The second one is the microcontroller or the processor, in to be general. The third one is cloud. So three important aspects. So what are sensors and actuators? Sensors and actuators are pretty simple to understand. So sensor is nothing but any device or any device or any instrument which can convert your physical quantity into electrical quantity. So physical quantities are like your heat, light, temperature. So all these are your physical quantities. So if the device can convert your physical quantity into electrical signals, so that becomes a sensor. So where are sensors? Sensors are in cars, sensors are in buildings. Your smartphone has 150 plus sensors. So all these are used to do what? They are used to get some information. So if I want to know what is the temperature in IS block of Sjbit, so if I keep a temperature sensor, so I can get to know what is the temperature in that particular region or area. So we are getting information about that particular infrastructure or environment using sensors. Coming up to actuators. Actuators are simple. So just like your input and output devices in your computer. So input devices are your what? It can take in input. Output devices gives output. So input devices are like your keyboard, mouse, so microphone. These are all input devices. Output devices is your computer screen. Then you have printers. So those are all output devices. So actuators do something. So the best example of an actuator is a light or a fan or a motor or a pump. So they are able to switch on or switch off or perform some action when you tell it to do. So that is as simple as an actuator. So sensors are input devices, actuators are output devices. So why do you need to do some action? Because if you have left the lights on in IS department of Sjbit or EC department, so if you want to switch it off, obviously you need an actuator. So actuator is like a light. So when you switch it off, you can switch it off with the help of a small smartphone button. So that is why the first and foremost stage in IoT is sensors and actuators. So then comes a processor. So sensors and actuators are like the basic building blocks, but without the processor, sensors and actuators are waste. For example, you have your computer. So without, you have your mouse, keyboard and everything. You don't have a CPU. Then what is the use of holding the entire computer? So that is useless, right? Because processor processes the information and it can send the data somewhere else. So very important concept is processor. So I can't use a big computer to just store one temperature sensor data and send it to some other place. So I'll use small devices. We call them as microcontrollers or microprocessors that we'll be dealing in detail in the internship like topics. So then comes the cloud or the internet space. So when I tell IoT, the major thing is Internet of Things. So what are we doing with respect to internet or cloud? So cloud, as you already know, you have come across a lot of cloud platforms like Google Drive, Microsoft Azure, or you have Apple iCloud. So what are these places? So cloud is nothing but a remote memory place, or you can have a cloud. You can have a cloud in USA, you can have a cloud in remote part of Karnataka. Anywhere you want, you can have a cloud. So cloud is nothing but a storage space, just like collection of hard disks that are being kept in a place. So where you could store your data or where you could retrieve your data at any point of time. So that is a cloud. So what is the basic advantage and what is the basic necessity of having cloud is, even if your computer gets spoiled, still you will have data in your cloud. So similarly, the data from the sensors can be stored in the cloud. So they are being stored as like either as Excel sheets or JSON documents or however, whichever format you can store the data in the cloud. So using those data, you can either control these devices or you can also manage these devices. So that is what is the entire concept of IoT. So talking about the next part, what you can do with IoT. Okay, I can control my light, I can control my motors, I can control my fans, I can read sensor data from different points of time. So what is the next application where people are trying to build is Industry 4.0. So what is Industry 4.0? Industry 4.0 is a standard. So how you have IEEE standards, so similarly you have industry standards. So what is this industry standard? Each and every industry is adopting automation in its domain. So what is automation? Without human present in that particular ecosystem, if the industry can perform on its own with the help of these sensors, actuators and the cloud. So if you can send data from sensors, perform some actions using actuators, and you can collaborate everything together. So that is nothing but Industry 4.0. So Industry 4.0 is a standard where all industries are trying to automate themselves. So without humans, how can we automate all our industry tasks, manufacturing or processing tasks? So that is Industry 4.0. So people who are studying IoT or people who are IoT developers have a major job role in Industry 4.0 sectors. So these Industry 4.0 sectors will help them use their skills in connecting sensors, actuators, cloud and microcontroller or processors and building a particular solution. So that is what is Industry 4.0. So future prospect, obviously people didn't have internet access way back in 2003, 2010 or 2012. But after 2015, the internet revolution boomed and everyone have their 4G phones. Every place now has almost every place has a Wi-Fi connection, or even if you don't have Wi-Fi, you can easily connect with your hotspots, or different connectivity issues are there. So after 2020, now most of the, like Dubai is 5G ready, USA is 5G ready, and there is 800 Mbps data speed in Dubai. So that is why we have a huge connectivity advantage when it comes to IoT, because each and every device to connect it to internet, either you should have Wi-Fi or you should have a 4G connection. So that is what is your future and correct prospect of IoT. Obviously it is going to boom, the technology is going to boom. So potential, where can you apply your IoT? In aviation sectors, in commercial aviation, power generation sectors, in solar power plants to get sensor data from how much of electricity each grid is producing. Healthcare, you cannot imagine, right now there are a lot of applications. So if you have a smartwatch, obviously you have your SpO2 sensor, that is oxygen monitoring sensor, heart rate sensor. So lot of sensors are being attached, and a pedometer to measure your steps. So already in healthcare systems, you are indirectly using IoT, where you connect it to your smartphone, that data goes to a cloud and gives you analytics exactly. So that is very important. Then in manufacturing, you can place different sensors and you can get out values. So transport, logistics, utilities, smart cities. So you might have heard of Smart Cities India campaign. So if you go to MG Road or Lavale Road, you could see parking sensors there telling you how many spaces are empty and how can you book that particular parking space. In buildings, in industries, in agriculture, so like people are trying to use different sensors in agriculture, so monitoring and even the tracking of livestock. So if you want to track animals, you can track them also using IoT. So this is there. So what are the topics that we cover in our IoT program? So we cover about sensors and actuators. So we deal with a microcontroller that is called as ESP8266 node MCU. So that is a microcontroller. So we'll help you integrate those sensors and we'll teach you different hardware protocols. Then just connecting sensors is not enough to the microcontroller. We even tell you how to connect to a cloud platform. So how do you send your data? How do you control anything from the cloud platforms? That is ThinkSpeak, Qubit, Firebase, Blink. So much more cloud platforms are there. So then coming to MIT App Inventor, it is a drag and drop mobile application development. So you can develop the Android apps without trying to code. So we can teach you that. Then introduction to Python, and we have a separate board called as Raspberry Pi, so which is much more powerful, and it has its own operating system, Raspbian, so you can work with it also. So these are the topics that we cover in our IoT program. So then talking about artificial intelligence, so the first topic is Internet of Things. So the second topic is AI ML. You could choose any one between them. So talking about artificial intelligence, so the first question that everyone would ask is, okay, AI, anywhere you see in this world, everyone are talking about AI, ML, deep learning and autonomous robots, autonomous world. So, but to learn about AI, so first and foremost is we need to understand what is intelligence. So you could tell about artificial intelligence, but to define intelligence, it is very difficult. So you think on your own and try to define intelligence. So the problem is intelligence is not subjective, it's objective. So what is subjective and objective? You cannot perfectly define intelligence. It is only based upon person to person. So I think if a person does a math problem well, he is intelligent. So if someone else thinks that, okay, he could dance well, then that person is intelligent. So intelligence is very subjective. So it is not depending on, it is not a common definition. It depends on person to person. So when we talk about intelligence, so basically it is very simple. So if Lisa and Harry are given a job, so if one of the person completes the job in a quicker span of time, so using less resources, and utilizing the knowledge that is gained from that particular task in future tasks. So for example, if I am teaching a small kid how to ride a bicycle, so after teaching this child for 5 to 10 minutes or 5 to 10 days, for example, so then the child will ride on its own. So it will see hurdles, it will start learning, so how to drive a cycle on traffic, on non-traffic roads and everything. So using the knowledge to do future tasks is also very important in intelligence. So then what is artificial intelligence? It is nothing but if artificial systems can behave in a human way, because intelligence is not defined for animals. So we think that humans are the most intelligent living beings. So we compare intelligence to human intelligence. So artificial intelligence is nothing but any machine. So you take in your computer, you take in any piece of hardware device or any software system also. So that can replicate human behavior. So that is called as an AI system. So any system which can replicate human behavior, so that is called as artificial intelligence system. So people would ask, okay, fine, replication of human behavior is there. So even a calculator can replicate human behavior. So even a microphone can replicate human behavior. So all those examples of artificial intelligence, the question is that, but the answer is no. So even a computer, you have a chess game. A computer can play chess, human can play chess. But what is happening is, a human will learn something when he plays chess, but a computer chess game is just pre-programmed. So 100 times you play, it is all pre-programmed. So if you know the logic of how the game is created, you can easily win against the computer. So the thing is, not all the systems that can replicate human behavior is artificial intelligence, but it should have the ability to learn. So learning with the data is very important in case of AI. So why artificial intelligence came into picture? Because computers can do certain tasks, but they cannot adapt to new changes. For example, you have a calculator, so you can do 10 digit plus 10 digit addition. So, but you cannot do 14 digits plus 14 digits. So the problem is adaptation. So computer, if you tell it to do a particular task, only that particular task it will try to do. But if you want to adapt it to more and more complex problems, then the concept of AI is important, because in AI it is all about learning. So you give something to the computer, it learns and then it adapts. So that is what is AI. So then what is machine learning? So AI is a huge concept where anything that is replicating human behavior is called as AI. So any artificial system that replicates human behavior is called as AI. So what is machine learning? Machine learning is a subpart of AI or a subdomain of AI where machines are learning with the help of data. So you are giving some data to the machine. So the machine is learning with respect to that. So that is called as machine learning. So what you are trying to do is, without programming, you are trying to ask the machine to learn. So that is about machine learning. So you give some data to the machine. So the machine will read the data and understand something just like humans. So then it can do something with respect to that. That is called as machine learning. So AI is replicating human behavior. Machine learning is using data, machines are learning. So just like humans, if you give a PDF to a human, he'll read the PDF and he'll try to learn something. Similarly, if you give a PDF to the computer, so it is indirectly reading the PDF and understanding something. So just like how humans learn, machines are also learning with data. So that is your machine learning. So what is the difference between normal program and a machine learning program? So normal program, just like your PCD program, so C programming, you write the program, then you give the data to the program, then you check the output. For example, if I'm trying to check a prime number or not, first I'll type the logic of the prime number program using this program. So then I'll give the data. So 5, 3, like that, I'm checking for prime number. Computer is giving output. But in case of machine learning, it is very simple, guys. So it is like you're giving the data. So data is in the form of data sets or some XYZ format of data you give. So then you tell what is the output that you want from the data. For example, I want to check how many people, I will give symptoms of diseases. So I want to check how many people have COVID-19. So I'm giving the symptoms and I'm telling that I'm trying to configure this person has COVID and this person doesn't have COVID. So based upon the data of COVID and non-COVID, the computer is recognizing that. So the computer is giving a pattern. So just like how you teach a small child how to understand a difference between a cat and dog, first you give the data to the child. You show photos of cats and dogs to the child and it will learn based upon it. So you're not like exactly giving the program. So the child is understanding on its own. Similarly, the computer will understand on its own how or what is the difference between a COVID-19 affected person and a COVID-19 non-affected person. So this is the difference between a traditional program and machine learning program. We learn more about machine learning, AI and its applications in our internship program. So what exactly are the applications? See, whatever you see in this world are all applications of AI. So almost everything, AI has covered everything. So when you talk about machine learning and predictive analytics. So a lot of things that are like the predictions are happening. So like election prediction. So you might have heard of Cambridge Analytica, where it predicted the US elections who would win. So then natural language processing. So your natural language processing is your translation. So how can you convert your English language to Kannada, English to Japanese, Japanese to English, French to Spanish. So like that, when you can understand the natural language and process it, so that is NLP. So then you have speech to text, text to speech. So you might have like used it every day. Google Assistant, Siri, then Cortana. So all these are examples of AI. So that is the applications of AI. So in robotics, you might have seen Sophia. So Sophia is a humanoid robot that completely works on AI. So it can talk like human, speak to humans, understand emotions, all these things are there. So then image recognitions and machine vision. So image recognition, best thing is your phone. So like when you buy a phone, they'll tell AI based facial recognition system. So when you want to unlock your phone, so it is all done based upon the data that is using your photos of yourselves. So based upon that, it is recognizing and it is able to build up an AI system. So what exactly we'll be covering in this AI program? Python programming, Python libraries, that is NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn. These are all the libraries of Python. So then we'll have machine learning algorithms. So then we'll learn about applications of machine learning, natural language processing, just like translation, understanding English language and how to process it, how to do emotional sentiment analysis of a particular speech. So all these things we'll be learning in applications of machine learning. So then about computer vision, it's all about image processing. So how do you recognize a face in an image? So how do you like detect any different objects? So if you want to detect any simple objects like cars or people in a video, so how do you do it? That is all applications of machine learning. Then about deep learning. So deep learning is another subconcept of like machine learning, where you don't need to do anything. Automatically it learns based upon the data patterns using artificial neural networks. So that will also be covered in this AI program. So this program, internship program, we have been doing it with a lot of colleges. So our main partner is BMS College of Engineering. So we do it with Dayanand Sagar, KSIT, AMC, Global. So Sjbit is also our partner. So we have 50 plus collaborations in Karnataka and 100 plus in South India. So any college you go, TechVid Labs is a partner of that college. So that is how we have built our network in the field of education sector. So it's not only about the internship, guys. So this is a very important thing that I wanted to talk to you about. So it's not only about getting an internship, but what after the internship. So you do an AI internship or you do an IoT internship. What exactly is after that? So that is why we have our own recruitment firm. So we call it as OccuHire and OccuSkills. So what we do is we place or we source out talented candidates to the company. So we have 50 plus recruitment partners. So just last week itself, so we placed 10 students to Mercedes-Benz with a package of 11 lakhs per annum. So what did they ask? They just asked for embedded system developer. Like if you have done something with respect to microcontrollers, that is fine. Then they also asked about Python development. 2 roles were there. 10 people got selected. Then we about math company. So that is a core AI company. So starting package is 7 lakhs per annum. So there are opportunities that is coming in each and every day. So each and every day I get 50 to 100 requirements to source out candidates. So I keep posting it in our alumni group. So Sjbit alumni group and several other hundreds of groups. So there are a lot of job opportunities available because we also run a consulting firm or a recruiting firm where we source out candidates to the companies. So these are all our partnered companies. So we can source out so many candidates each and every day to them. So people who complete internship in TechVid Labs will be given free opportunities to attend any of the companies. Like any partner companies, whatever is the opening that is coming in, you can attend it for free. So so this is about the hiring part. And also you can see about the testimonials on our on our YouTube. So these are all the students. So just last week we placed all these students. So one person from SJBIT also got placed. So he got placed into Digit Insurance as a developer. So for 4.5 lakhs. I mean, the placement opportunities are huge with respect to that. And each and every day we are placing 15 to 20 students in different companies. talking about our advisory team, so we have people from Google, people from, various domains. So we have data analysts, we have IoT specialists, we have cybercrime or cyber security specialists as a part of our technical advisory team who will be helping us develop this content and work on the course aspect as well. So student testimonials and the various training programs that we have conducted. So this is in BMS College of Engineering we have conducted. So lot of places. We have been in business from past 4 years and we have trained more than 10,000 students and we have placed more than 3,000 students. So this is our whole portfolio. So this is about my presentation. So anything, any doubts or clarifications you need, you could ask me. So I'm open for any discussion, doubts or questions you have. Guys, any doubts, questions or anything you have, I'm open for that. So I'll be online for a few minutes. So if you have any doubts or questions, you could ask me.
Is the internship online or offline?
This is an offline internship. Because before it was online, but now the COVID restrictions have gone down and we can conduct this internship offline in your college. So we'll be doing it offline in your college premises.
Okay, thank you.
Any other doubts, guys? You are all in your 6th semester right now?
7th semester.
7th.
Okay, 7th semester. So, okay. Your exams, do you have, your exams have already started, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, all of you are placed in companies or still waiting for placements?
Adi, I guess you are receiving some in-call messages.
Yeah, I'll just check that out.
Yeah.
Priyanka is asking me, do you have full stack web development? Yes, we do have full stack web development course, but the thing is, for EC department, we are restricting it to 2 courses, that is AI, ML and IoT. So what happens with full stack is if we do more number of domains, if we divide them, then it'll be difficult to handle all the peoples for different domains. So if more people are interested in full stack, we can include full stack also. Okay, guys, I think now the internship coordinator will send you the profile, the Google form to fill up. So please do choose the domain of your choice, either IoT or AI. So if you want anything else, so that is also possible, but just put it in a bracket and stating that I am interested in this program also. So based upon the students' requirement and the students, whatever the students wishes for, so we'll do the same thing. So it is not that we won't do full stack or anything, but depends on what exactly the students are requiring. So these 2 are fixed for now, that is IoT and AI. So other programs will decide on the demand basis. So that is what I wanted to say. So thank you guys for attending this particular small presentation.
Yes. Sir, before the session ends, I would like to say a few words.
Yeah.
On behalf of EC department and Mahanti sir, I would like to thank Mr. Aditya for his time and also giving the students an informative session about the internship program provided by TechWid Labs. Thank you, sir. We all hope to be working under you soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And also for the students who have missed this particular session, I have recorded this. So I'll be sharing the recording also on YouTube. So I'll just share the YouTube link. So people who have missed it can watch this also for their further reference. So thank you guys, and hope you had a good informative time with me on this particular presentation, and all the best for your future also. I hope I see all of you in good companies working in very good positions. So thank you.
Thank you, Aditya, and thank you,
Thank you,
Taj,
sir.
for concluding the session. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.